YouTube, what's going on? This is Liston 3270 with Liston Unfiltered. This video is going to be about the return of the legend, Manny Pacquiao, and my thoughts about it. Now, a lot of boxing fans are very happy about, Pacquiao coming back again. I, for one, I love Pacquiao. He's a living legend, one of the greatest boxers of all time, humanitarian, and he's done so many good things. But I'm not really excited to see Pacquiao, come back at this point. I thought like the exhibitions was cool that him and Floyd are doing. It's a way to get them some quick money, very good paydays without the risk. But I'm really just struggling to find out like what Pacquiao wants to accomplish at this point in his career. Like, what is it that he is seeking? I mean, he's done everything that is required of him. He has a hell of a resume. I mean, no fighter can beat Father Time. And, unfortunately, July 19th, he will be facing Mario Barrios, who, a very tall fighter, rangy, decent boxing skills, decent power as well. I think Pacquiao might have a lot of problems with this fight. Pacquiao, even going back to when he fought like Jeff Horn, Pacquiao had his moments in the fight. I mean, that was a very controversial fight as well. But I don't know. I don't want to see Pacquiao getting knocked through the ropes and being knocked out or beaten up really badly. It's completely unnecessary at this point. And I just struggle to wonder why. It's like, why? You were doing the political thing. Now there's this. Now you're back again. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the card is going to be a really good card. You got Pacquiao and Barrios, and, then you got Sebastian Fundora and, Tim Tszyu, their rematch. That's going to be a real awesome fight. And then you've got, Pitbull versus Fierro too. They had a very good fight in their first one. So that's going to be awesome. And you're going to have Figueroa versus Gonzalez. A solid card. On the 19th of July. And, but I don't know. I really, like I said, I don't want to see, that's even with like Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins was like fighting guys and wasn't getting hurt for so long. It's kind of like you were thinking like, he can go forever. But when he started getting hit and he started getting tagged and he starts taking on these really, really dangerous guys, the Kovalev fight for him was really telling because, Hopkins, for the first time I think I could ever recall, was he looked scared to be hit. I mean, Kovalev was hitting him that hard, and you know he should have never he should have never been involved in a fight like that at that point in his life, in his career, and then the Joe Smith Jr. fight, where he ends up getting knocked through the ropes and Hopkins is in denial, and he was against what happened, but these fighters need to learn to sit down. I mean, and I mean, listen, I am just a boxing fan. This is just my opinion, but I think when you're getting into like a combat sport, especially boxing, you got to map a game plan out. I mean, I've heard that Pacquiao's broke and he doesn't have money. I mean, if that's the incentive, you know, um, I guess he thinks that Mario Barrios is some type of cherry. So easy fight. But Pacquiao doesn't move like he used to move. He doesn't have the movement and explosiveness. Those are things that Pacquiao depended on. He doesn't have that anymore. And God forbid he gets hit and he gets hurt in there. It's gonna be an ugly thing. It's going to be ugly and it's going to be brutal, and I sad that it's happening. I'm really sad. But we'll see. What happens. As far as that goes. But maybe have a fight with. I mean, Loma just retired, but if this is the way that Manny wants to go, you're getting older. You know, Loma's just fresh out the door. He'll turn around for a nice payday, I'm sure. He can't beat the younger guys at this point, probably. But yeah, a guy like Pacquiao, that would be awesome. Maybe meet at a catch weight or something like that. Yeah, that'd be a beautiful thing to see. That neither one is what they used to be, but you know, I think they'd have enough for each other. I would watch it. I would absolutely watch it. I don't think they would be ruining each other in there either. I think we'd have a nice boxing match. It'd be very, very competitive with what these guys have left. But I can be wrong. Maybe Pacquiao comes back and maybe in reality he knocks Barrios out. And if that happened, I think that would be pretty unbelievable. But if anyone can do it, turn the clock back, it would be Pacquiao. But, the thing too that I'm pretty disturbed about with, Pacquiao coming back is, when Errol Spence was supposed to fight Pacquiao, man down, anyone can get it. Mr. Spence, he was supposed to go right through Pacquiao. And that would have been interesting. And it's funny because after Spence was absolutely demolished, we don't know when he's coming back or if he's coming back. I'd prefer he doesn't come back. But maybe Pacquiao finally fights him. That's who he went into camp for before he had to fight Ugas on the fly. And, everyone talked about how bad Pacquiao looked against Ugas. And it was kind of like, but Pacquiao didn't go into training camp for all those weeks to fight a guy like Ugas or that style. But the fans still were very hard on Pacquiao, and they didn't appreciate the fact that this man saved the day. He could have just, pulled out, and then no fight would have happened. The whole card would have probably just fell apart. Uh, but Pacquiao doesn't get any credit for that either. But maybe we see. I mean, no one's calling for this. I mean, no one cares about Spence and Pacquiao fighting. No one really had great interest in it back when it was supposed to happen. But I'm saying, look, let's get it on. Let's see these guys fight. I mean, I don't think anyone's knocking down Errol Spence's doors to fight him. You know, it'd be a decent payday for both of them. But that's just you know how I feel. How do you feel, boxing family, about Pacquiao coming back? Are you planning on checking out this card on July 19th? That's pretty stacked. You know, uh, let me know. Message me. Leave a comment if you like the video. Let me know, and we can talk about it in the comments. Everybody who sat through it, appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with me and supporting me. And sorry I've taken a little hiatus. Sometimes I get a little lazy with dropping the videos, and but I gotta stay busier. But thank you, and till next time, I'm out.